helping others to heal themselves. This is the basis that we're coming from, and what becomes a beautiful experience in guidance around healing is that we will come through unique frameworks to help others. Quite often, this can mean that the healer, with many names that have graced this world like shaman, witch, etc., will go through their own experience, seeing the underbelly experience of what illness feels like, and then finding their way to heal all parts. This is becoming. It is coming back into wholeness. The physician who teaches people to sustain their health is the superior physician. The physician who waits to treat people until after health is lost is considered the inferior physician. This is like waiting until one's family is starving to begin to plant seeds in the garden. That is from the Yellow Emperor's classic on internal medicine, written roughly in 500 BCE. So it's amazing that how something that was written over 2,000 years ago still hasn't really taken hold in the masses. Of course, there are those that believe in natural healing, but the established medical industry is generally still focused on treating diseases, and searching for cures rather than the actual idea of true natural healing. But what does true health even mean? True health is multifaceted and includes a holistic and integrative approach. With integrative, holistic, and naturopathic practitioners on the rise, this is still only a piece of the puzzle and still creates a form of dependence. Not only does true health bring into focus the realms of emotional balance and spirituality, but it connects all aspects together because everything is connected. Surgically removing a part of the body may be life-saving or reduce symptoms in the moment, but that would be like removing your kitchen sink because it's clogging. If there's no sink to get clogged, then clog won't be an issue, right? Of course not. There's clearly a clog in the pipes, the unseen parts in the walls or underneath the house that need to be cleaned out, need to be serviced. Of course, the house doesn't have the ability to clean out the pipes itself and needs servicing. And that is exactly what we have been led to believe about our own bodies, that they need external help to fix everything. There's a humorous saying that with a doctor's expert care, you should be better in a week. But without access to the marvels of modern medicine, your recovery will require at least 7 days. While it's meant to be a joke, it shines a light on the aspect of our own innate healing capabilities. The most profound healer is directly within us. It is us. We are not taught this. And when we begin to believe this, there can often be pushback from, of course, doctors, but family members, friends, partners, and many others that still believe in the system. However, as we take accountability and action for our own health, we can relinquish that victim status and begin to become independent and empowered, thus creating better overall health, more joy, and a positive outlook on life. Rather than handing over our power to those who, at best, misunderstand and are maybe miseducated on true health, to the worst that seek profits over people, we can begin to take back that power and make informed decisions. This would in turn allow us to be part of a solution rather than perpetuating the ever-growing problem. Not only is this exciting, but it's easy, and even better, it's free. Perhaps the greatest part is that it is natural, safe, and there are zero negative side effects. Healing on deeper levels can not only provide more happiness, productivity, and purpose, but it can also help nations get back on track financially by lessening burdens on the medical systems. Genuine healthcare can create health independence that would have a cascading positive effect on the whole of humanity. Ultimately, we must take our power back into our own hands, and it's easier than you think. It takes learning, dedication, discipline, and practice, but simple additions to your day can have profoundly beneficial impacts. Focusing on the breath, applying self-massage, moving the body in sustainable and gentle ways to avoid injury, And calming and relaxing the mind and the spirit can generate a homeostasis throughout your entire being. This can mean better sleep, better digestion, better circulation, greater clarity, less pain, more flexibility and strength, a stronger immune system, denser, stronger bones, more efficient detox abilities, and so much more. While there are a myriad of natural healing techniques, I personally lean on Qi Gong. It's a primordial practice that was honed in the region of China for thousands of years. These practices are so simple in nature that they are accessible to all ages, all fitness levels, even those with mobility issues. These are often done while standing, which helps posture and strength, but can be performed and modified while seated, even lying down. Even something as simple as breathing techniques and calming your nervous system can activate our innate healing capabilities while laying in a hospital bed recovering from an accident. Qigong is a practice that works with the body's internal energy called qi. This is Chinese in nature, but we see across many cultures and sciences the idea of some unseen, subtle energy. The world, the cosmos, this existence, the very fabric is all held together by an amazing force that we can tap into.
And we did another video that you can check out called What is Vitality and What Does Vitality Do? So check that out too, as that goes more in depth on that aspect right there.
Yes, exactly. By using certain techniques in Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, meditation, massage and reflexology, and using frequencies through sound, light, and nature, we can harness this energy that flows through us for healing purposes. This is how we can activate our healer within. This is how we can create more independence so that we can get back to living our life the way it's meant to be lived, with vitality. Like Natalie mentioned, please check out a video on our channel more about that. But once we realize that we are powerful, we begin to become part of that solution. That means we can all be participants in an exciting movement, a wave of healers for ourselves, in turn raising the awareness and the consciousness and healing the world. First step is to realize that you are in control. Then seek out some basic tools like breathwork, gentle movement, self-applied massage. Don't worry about being good at it or not being able to afford lessons. Much of this can be learned through books and free YouTube videos.
Like this one.
Like this one and many others on our channel. Keep in mind that healing will not happen if you bring the following into it. Things like negativity, inability to trust, fear of taking responsibility, denial, or fear of change. These are the very things that create dis-ease and must be relinquished in order to start and sustain the healing process. Albert Einstein said it best: there are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle.
Yeah, and jumping off of that a little bit, being a guide to healing is a much needed service in this world. And I dare to say maybe now more than ever before. But if we remember that everyone ultimately heals themselves, like Mark just was talking about, this is a powerful aspect to it all. And one of my favorite quotes is, if someone is starving, don't give them food, teach them how to grow it, which actually goes with your seed comment earlier, which was funny, because that's connected.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't even know who said that, but I think it's a phenomenal sentence that I had written down from who knows what research binge I was on. But the highest service is when we go through, a massive illness or something, right? And then we show others how to make themselves whole, because we did. And that is how to co-create another healer. Like Mark said, it ripples out. Someone heals, they become a healer. Then they heal someone else, they become a healer. So this is just this rippling effect. And it's the principle of helping others help themselves, creating that rippling effect that just gets larger and larger and larger. But this, this isn't just about humans. This goes for the earth and all of Earth's living creatures too. So turning on the inner healer, for me meant going down to, as Mark went into Qigong, and of course, these things are all related anyway, because those aspects are part of those building blocks. But going back into the literal building blocks and the smallest aspects of who we truly are, seeing that vitality begins in the energetic aspects of who we are, ripples into the very fabric of a cellular structure, as we call it, or the subatomic level. And what was realized is a path to healing has to be looked at from an inside-out approach rather than addressing the point of a symptom. Mark just touched on that. This all meant I really had to go into the depths of where does the vital life force begin to get hindered, and then how to address each layer and level of that. Getting to the root cause of illness, including even my own, is how we can address ways to help others. And that's because it's what it takes us to get out of that bad, negative downward spiral in that illness or dis-ease in the body. So that is kind of that underworld or underbelly aspect. We have to peer into the ways of healing ourselves, getting the human body, up and out into a positive spiral, versus the underbelly of what it takes to heal and where the human body is getting hindered and what that means for the real aspects versus just what we're told. Because what we can find is the mainstream conversations about what health looks like and how one achieves it is far different than really what should be looked at, as Mark was just saying. So the way that I see it is that we turn on the inner healer through many varying practices. There's not one, obviously. Of course, qigong, as he spoke of, really that's a beautiful, amazing practice.
Just one of many.
One of many. And I'm going to just provide 3 big things as to, how I healed and am healing, and how I'm sharing this in looking at vibrational layers and levels. So we look at those layers and levels of how mammals, humans, dogs, cats, for example, react to stress. What happens when stress comes, and it sure does, is how does that deplete the body? So these learnings are about what root causes of where dis-ease in the body comes, meaning not ease in the body, and how we can, and where that framework of imbalance is. It's never broken, just dysregulated at a core level. And I really look at this from a mineral level. Another aspect is to look at all the vibrational layers and levels of energetic aspects and physical matter tissues. While we're all energetic beings and all aspects is energy, there's layers unseen by the human eye. Most anyway. Of course, there are some people that can see that light body and auric field. But so we have the energetic body, and then we have the physical matter body, which we can all very easily see. But it's when we really look and learn to see that there are layers and levels, unseen and seen, that has to how we're constructed and how we interact and communicate with the world around us. This is really where clarity begins to seep in. It's how we can begin to see the complexity, but also almost a simplicity as well. And this includes looking at things through like master herbalism or herbalism in general. I always look at how can plants help in the healing process? How do their energies affect the body? Energetics in this sense is in this being is the way the plants alter the internal terrain of the human body through qualities like cooling, warming, moistening, drying, relaxing, or tonifying, and how then each person has a unique constitution type. So when plants enter the body, they alter the internal landscape. So it's looking at the earth and our bodies as like these entire ecosystems. So that's a powerful aspect. And then a third aspect is knowing that there are divine spirits of flowers that can be our allies and can help us. And that is through a lens of flower essence alchemy. Because we can partner with the spirits of flowers to assist our energetic field, the astral body, as part of our light body. And these are the spiritual properties of flowers. And it works similarly to homeopathy. So it takes an energy signature and allows that signature to assist our signature. So I have an analogy of this. Think of emotions as like a dusty layer in the astral body around us, and even in for our fur babies, by the way. Now, these dusty or sparkly fragments, however you want to see that, can be cleared and cleansed away to allow for a more purified field. Then they can also be assisted in protecting that field, so allowing that purity of the vibrational layers to maintain that purity longer. But still, like everything, this all comes when there is a larger practice of daily, weekly, ongoing elements, because it's really a consistency. Like Mark said, that word discipline really is consistency.
I have 3 words for you. Practice, practice, and practice.
Yeah.
You just got to keep doing this stuff. There's no simple quick fix, right? It takes ongoing support. Whatever the modality is that you choose. It doesn't have to be so constant that you burn yourself out, but it has to be some sort of, you have to find that rhythm of ongoing support.
Yeah, and or like Yoda says, there is no try, only do. There is no
try. Yeah. Do or do not.
Do or do not. There is no try. There it is. That's the one.
Do or do not. There is no try.
That's what that is about. That's about discipline. So these 3 layers are small references to the larger body of work that, of course, we adhere to. And of course, what Mark mentioned is qigong. There's other aspects in this framework of forge and flow, but these are just examples and ways that we get to turn on the inner healer, and that's how it can assist us to, as we say, release that imprisoned splendor from within you. And as that is released, and then it shines like the sun. So thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe for more videos on forging and flowing through life and releasing your inner splendor with us. If this resonated with you, we'd love it if you could share it with others to help us grow.
Thank you.
Thank you.